Look what I found. I found the trophy I got with it. See, shortest jerk. I'm not that short. I'm like 5'8", and I try not to be a jerk. I try to be a nice person. You know, anyone can get a first, second, or third. But how many people get a shortest jerk? Not many. That was the award I had to go for. I gotta say, I'm not a fan of getting in here to clean that. This was sandblasted, but it needs a little more cleaning. It was missed here, and I do that with the wire wheel and sandpaper and stuff. Whatever I can get in there. Alright, so I got one rear wheel done. He can be mounted. I painted the valve cover. I'm gonna put that on. I gotta get the fine thread nuts though for this part. So I can't find them. So I'll just get them at the hardware store. And then that can be put on. Here's the second rear wheel. I was cleaned it up last night to get it ready for priming and painting, and it had some pinholes in it, so I put some JB Weld in the holes and a couple pitted areas, so I'll sand that down smooth. Pretty much like putting body filler in, but JB Weld's stronger. I'll get that sanded and then I'll get that primed and get this rear wheel moving along. Get it caught up to the other one and we can mount them. And I gotta work on the front wheels. Here's the front wheels. They're mounted on the wheels. The tires are, so those are ready to go. But I gotta get the hubs cleaned and painted. So these are 66 front wheel wear cups, and they go on like this, and it's what the hub seal rides against. So this wears instead of the actual spindle to protect the spindle. And mine are, what's the other one? Mine are pretty bad. See right here, it's tore right through it. And I could weld. I mean, if there's just one small bad spot, I could just weld it, build it up and grind it, but this one's pretty much had it. Why would I bother with that? Well, I called Corvs for some new ones, and I swear they used to be $40 a piece, but I called them last week and they are $80 a piece, which is nuts. Absolute ridiculous. He even said so himself. He said it's nuts if you can use the old ones or used ones. That's what he would do. He also said the 77, 88 ones they're like 10 or 15 bucks a piece. He said the reason why is because it's shared all the way through the 1955s, I think he said. So it's a common part. I chased all the holes for the hub to mount the wheel on, and I ran a die down all the nuts, so that's gonna make it a whole lot easier. You never really want to have to deal with the paint. That'll go right in till it bottoms out. So I like to do that when you gotta put something on like that. In all reality, most of the holes I'll chase. It just makes it easier, and you don't have to worry about the bolt getting tight and bottoming out before it's actually tight, or breaking off or getting stuck, whatever. I made this thing for keeping the paint off the tire. Just you know, cardboard to cut it in the shape of the wheel. And to do that, I just took a piece of paper. I traced it by pushing on it with my fingers, and then I just cut out the cardboard. That was just a saltine crackers box, and then I just move it around as I need it. Keeps the paint overspray off the tire because that looks horrible, I think. Alright, so as you can see from that time lapse, we got the wheels mounted. So I'll have to touch up a little paint on the lugs, which is pretty typical, but you put sockets on. But here they are. It's still actually off the ground yet. So I'm glad to have them on because it'll take a lot of room. So now I work on the front ones, get the hubs done, figure out that wear plate situation, and get the valve cover put on. And then I gotta work on the steering tie rods and stuff. So we have a parts 66. So I found a good used one off of that. Why only one? Well, it only had one. Only one side had it. The other side it was missing. I wonder why. You gotta wonder. Probably just robbed off. Maybe someone wanted to get a new one. Who knows? But maybe I can get one of them old ones better shape, and then use this one, and that'd be alright. So I'm doing one last check on this. Make sure I'm gonna run it. Make sure each rocker arm is oiling. So I'm gonna do that. There the oil comes out of. That hole in that fitting must be for, probably so it doesn't get too much pressure, maybe. But they're all oiling. So I can put the cover on and have peace of mind knowing that they're all going to oil. I mean, they should have, but you know, it doesn't hurt to check it. Because once you put the cover on, you gotta take it off again. You might need a new gasket. So I was cleaning the other tie rod. There's one that's not done yet. I noticed when I cleaned it that this is brass. You can see how shiny it is. That should be pretty cool if I shined it up and clear coated it. But I wonder why they use brass on that. It could have been material shortages too. Because the Korean War was going on in that time. So there was material shortages. Never really covered well from World War II, which was ended in 45. And then I think Korean was 50 to 53. So there wasn't really much time there for things to get straightened out. I put the front wheel lug nuts in the ultrasonic cleaner here in a jar of gas, so they just stayed right in the water. This is just water with a little RV coolant, antifreeze in it, so it doesn't freeze. But they didn't too bad. Took a lot of stuff off. Within like a minute, the water was all dirty and nasty. This was clean gas when I started. Old gas, but old gas works for cleaning, huh? There's one of the hubs, and putting this new seal in here, but I gotta figure out how far to put it down. If I put it down all the way till it touches, or if I gotta leave it out so it touches the wear plate. So I'll have to figure that out. I got a valve cover installed. It came with 2 gaskets, the set, a thin one and a thick one. I used the thick one, the cork one. But I probably should have used the thin one, I guess, because there ain't a whole nut on these. And I'm not a fan of that. I'd like to have a full nut, even though, I mean, it doesn't need it for strength, but I don't know if they'll stay in. Probably got half a nut on them, but I could always find some lower profile nuts to get the whole nut on, but I would prefer lock washers too, but this is gonna have to work. I'll just keep an eye on them. I can always redo it with the smaller gasket. Well, it's pretty much gonna do it for this video. I think the next video will be finishing the front wheels and running it around and getting it mobile. And then all we left really is any kind of wiring, lights, and sheet metal. So there's probably going to be 3 or 4 parts at the most to this project.